morning, good day, algebra. This is the Ox, Mr. Schultz, going over PO23 with all of you. We've done this objective before. Last year in pre-algebra, it was called PO54, but you've done graphing, okay? The difference from last year to this year is that now we're adding the possibility, Evan, that you have to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form first. So if you look back at PO54, you'll only see two steps written here. The first step is now make sure the equation is in y equals mx plus b form. If it's not, you have to put it there. Okay, which is why we learned in PO22 how to convert from standard form to slope-intercept. Because if it's given to you in standard form, you have to convert it to slope-intercept form. Okay, and then who remembers, once you get this, like these equations here are all in slope-intercept form for you, what would you do first to graph that? Kid?
You can take the b and put it on the y.
Yes. You begin with plotting the y-intercept, which is the b term. Had a little bit of a tickle there in the throat. Okay, a little bit of tickle. Okay, you begin. Hey, look at me. You begin by plotting the y-intercept, which is the b value, right? Shh. Jeffrey, quiet, please. And then what's your second step? Once you plot that y-intercept, what do you do next? Cade? You use the slope, and what was the word that begins with m? Because the slope variable is an m. You move, right? You move to the second point using the slope, which is the m variable. Okay? And that's it. Then you connect the dots, and you're done. You only need 2 points to make a line. Your first point is a y-intercept. It's a location. The second point is from the slope. Okay? So, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. What's our y-intercept? Where are we going to be beginning? Wyatt? What's the ordered pair? What's the ordered pair of the y-intercept? 0, 3. Right? The y-intercept is a location. It is an ordered pair. It's 3 on the y-axis. It's the ordered pair is 0, 3. Now, how are we moving? What's the slope? Abby? 1/2, which means what? Up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. So from that y-intercept, not from the origin, up 1 over 2, and there's our second point. Right? We connect them as straight as we can, and there we have the line. We started with the y-intercept, that location, plotted that point first, and then used the slope, 1/2 up 1 over 2, to get to our second point, and then we have a line. The next one, what's the location of the y-intercept? 0, 5. What's our slope? How do we move?
Wasn't it 0, 3? Just 3. but
Yeah.
negative
Dayton?
3 on it.
Negative 3 over 1, right? It's not written as a fraction, but when we talk about slope, we think about it as a fraction because we have to have that horizontal movement. And what this means is since it's negative, you're going down 3 and over 1, right? That negative 3 over 1 slope means you're going down 3 over 1. So plot our first point, 0, 5. That's right there. That's the y-intercept. And from there, from that point, we're moving down 3 over 1, and there's our second point. Notice we didn't go down and left. The negative sign only means we go down. We always move to the right because that's how you read a graph, from left to right. Now we connect the points as straight as we can, and we have the line. Questions on that? Jack?
What would you do for the first one on the bottom row?
Let's not quite get there yet. Okay. Next one, y equals negative 4/3 x minus 1. What's our b? What's the location of the y-intercept? Negative 1. What's the order pair? 0, negative 1. This time it's a negative because it's minus 1, right? That sign belongs to the value. Okay, so 0, negative 1 is where we're putting our first point. That's the y-intercept. And then, Evan, what's our slope? How do we move?
Down 4 and then over 3.
Good. Our slope, negative 4/3, means we're going down 4 and over 3. And when we say over 3, we're talking about going to the right. Okay, not down and left, down and right. So from this point, from our y-intercept, we're going down 4 over 3. And there's our next point. There's the line. How's this doing? Okay. Questions on these three so far? Okay, Jack, what was your question on the first one in the second row?
Well, the x doesn't have a coefficient.
Or does it?
Up 1 over 1.
Remember, if there's no number written before a variable, it means it's a 1. Blake, shh, quiet. Y equals 1x plus 2. And how do we write 1 as a slope? Blake, quiet. You talked to Mr. Gill.
No, we didn't. I was hallucinating.
Okay. How do we write 1 as a slope? The number 1, Abby. Yeah, we write it as 1 over 1. Okay, so the slope for this one, Jack, would be up 1 over 1. Okay, there's no number written. That coefficient is a 1. Jack?
Do I need to write the slope or just graph it?
All you have to do is graph it, right? But I am giving you this information so you know how I'm getting what I'm getting. Okay? Another one that raises a lot of questions is the first one on the second page. Y equals 3/5 x. What's the order pair of the y-intercept here? 0, right? A lot of times when folks see an equation like this, they'll put the y-intercept at 1. Well, if the y-intercept was positive 1, it'd say plus 1, right? It doesn't say plus 1. It says, essentially, plus 0, right? There's nothing being added on to our 3/5 x. So the location of the y-intercept here is at the origin 0, 0. Okay? Question, Emmy? Okay. I'll go back up after we're done here. Yeah.
What you do?
Hold on. Questions on that one or any others they have? Okay. Abby, going back up to that one, this y equals x plus 2. What's your question with that? So, first of all, it requires the understanding that when there's no number before a variable, what does it mean? What is, wait a minute. What is the coefficient to x, even though it's not written? Who can remind her? We just talked about this. It's a 1. Okay? This is the same as y equals 1x plus 2. So that slope of the line is 1, but as a fraction, we think about it as 1 over 1, or up 1 over 1. Okay? So it looks different because there's no number before the x. When there isn't a number written, it means it's a 1. And so we treat it as 1x, or 1, which is a fraction, is 1 over 1, right? Because any number over 1, and then up 1 over 1 is what that would mean. Does that help? Okay. Your homework for tomorrow is the rest, these 3 on the first page, and just this top row on the second page. Okay?
Yeah, the bottom, the next 6 are a little different.
Well, they're in standard form. Okay, so we have to convert them first. We'll talk about that.
Convert it into.
We'll review that tomorrow. Quiet. All right. Any questions on what your homework is? So there's no confusion tomorrow when I come and walk around. You are finishing the first page, and you're doing the top row on the second page. Okay? Shay.
Oh, I'm doing the second one, first one, second row,
Okay.
and I got a negative on both numbers for the fraction.
This negative 7/3.
For this row. No,
Next
next page.
page. Which one?
Second row, first one.
We're not doing those. Okay? Please listen to what the assignment is. All right. That's our math.